Welcome to another week of Valparaiso University Basketball Preview. As we look ahead, the only week all year the Crusaders will play 3 home games. Todd Ickow with you, joined by the head coach Bryce Drew. Always great to be at home.
Great to be at home. Great to be in front of the home crowd. 3 very challenging games this week, and I think our players are excited for the challenge.
3 really different challenges. You start with Tuesday night's game against Central Florida, a team which looks awfully impressive on paper so far. 3-1 to start. What can you tell us about them?
They won 20 games last year. They returned a lot of their key players, and they're off to a tremendous start with the win last week. At Miami, Florida. So, they're very big. They're very athletic. They can score the ball, and so they're just a very, very good basketball team.
Not only 3-1, and you mentioned the win at Miami. They played Florida State competitively as well. That's their lone loss. They've got, looks like 2 really good guards, 2 completely different types of players. Calvin Newell is a 6'1" point guard, a transfer from Oklahoma, and averaging nearly 20 a game so far.
Definitely a concern for us. They're very solid on the perimeter. Their starting lineup poses a threat because it has 5 guys who can all put it on the ground and all can shoot threes, and then they can come in on the bench with some size and really bang you inside. So, for us, we're going to have to guard quickness, we're going to have to guard strength, we're going to have to be able to guard shooting, we're going to have to be able to defend the dribble and keep them from getting to the basket.
You talk about defending strength. They'll have one of the stronger players we've seen all year in Isaiah Sykes. What can you tell us about him?
Tremendous player. He's left-handed, and it's kind of different than what players are used to. And he's tremendous getting to the rim and finishing with his left hand. Some stats there, offensive rebounding, he's getting about 3 a game. And so they do a tremendous job. I think it's a whole team rebounding. They're plus 11 in rebounds per game, which is tremendous.
A unique combination player. You said averaging about 3 offensive rebounds a game. That's a real big number. He had over 70 steals last year. It's an unusual combination. A guy who can do almost anything for him.
There's a reason why he's on some draft boards and people are looking at him to get drafted. Does a variety of things well, and he's the type of player coming in that he's gonna make his impact in the game. But the question is, how big is that impact? Is it gonna be triple-double numbers, or is it gonna be in a manageable area?
As we talk about this upcoming week and a real tough challenge coming a few nights later when you take on Mercer. You guys have switched up the lineup, kind of switched up the rotation a little bit, and it certainly worked. 32-point victory, an impressive win, maybe the most impressive victory thus far this year, just a few nights ago. What were you trying to accomplish by switching up the lineup, and how do you think it worked, and where does this have you going forward?
The nice thing about our group of guys is that they are very team-oriented, and we put 2 players who have been playing fairly well for us, and we decided to bring them off the bench, and a lot was just rotations. We thought it might give us a better rotation to the start of the game, and I think we were very pleased on the first 10 minutes how it all flowed.
New players in the starting lineup were both freshmen, and a lot of talk about the play of Lexus Williams, how he's exceeded expectations coming in. There's only so much you can expect from a freshman. Jabril Adekoya wasn't even really in the rotation much at all to start the year, and played great the last 2 games. How much can you expect from freshmen?
I think they're freshmen, and it'll be some really good moments. I think, and there'll be some moments where they may look like freshmen, and I think we've seen some of both of that this early season. What I really enjoy about this group of freshmen is that when they make mistakes, they don't put their head down. They hustle back. They watch film, they learn, and the nice thing is we've seen progression each game from them, whether it just be one small thing that they've learned through film or just through practice that they've adjusted in the games.
The fans love making player comparisons. The coaches probably don't like making player comparisons. I had a long-time Valpo supporter tell me this past week, I watch Adekoya. He reminds me a lot of, and I go, oh, here we go. But the player he mentioned, and I started thinking about it, was one of your former teammates, Anthony Allison. And I said, no, wait a minute. Now, Anthony Allison averaged almost 20 points a game as a senior, and he averaged almost 10 rebounds a game. And Jabril, he's just getting into the rotation. But he said, Anthony Allison wasn't a big scoring threat until his senior year. He sees the way that Jabril runs the court and his size and athleticism. I think there are some fair comparisons to Anthony Ellison, who was one of the really great Crusaders back in your day.
Jabril is a very he's such a great team guy. I think when Anthony came, he was at junior college and he was All-American. He always scored a lot of points. Jabril came from an AAU situation where he was the glue guy. He was the guy who got some rebounds, set some screens, scored when he needed to. And I think that's kind of the role that he's kind of doing with us right now. As he gets older and as he does get more, into the offense and plays called, it'll be exciting to see his progression and, if he could get to that scoring level, that Anthony did.
You look at Mercer. Now you got to come off a game against Central Florida, and you're right back into the hopper. The good thing is to be still at home, but another team that poses a lot of threats and athleticism as well. Mm-hmm. Some similarities to Central Florida, and they've already got a win against Seton Hall, nearly beat Texas, and they won 25 games last year. Another great test for the home fans to see as well.
Yes, our crowd's getting to see some tremendous teams so far early in the season, and Mercer's a team that won their league last year. Like you said, almost beat Texas, beat Seton Hall, and they returned like 6 seniors. And so they're very, very experienced coming in, and their coach does an excellent job, and it's just going to be a tremendous challenge for us.
It is good early on to play so many quality opponents, and this is the first month of the season, I think, unlike any other month the Crusaders have had where it's one quality opponent after another. That's got to be real good. It's a test, and you're playing a lot of freshmen, but that's got to help you out down the road.
Every Division I team we played so far won 20 or more games last year, and so they're very successful programs, and a lot of these teams have returned some of their quality players, as we're seeing this Tuesday and Friday. And so, hopefully we get experience, and this helps us when conference comes.
Good luck this week.
Thanks, Todd.
Great game on Tuesday night. The Crusaders and Central Florida come on out and support Valpo Basketball. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for joining us this week on Valpo Basketball Preview.